Tonight we're going to be looking at two popular concealed carry 9mm. On the left we have the KelTec pf9, and on the right the Taurus 709. These are both 7+1 9mm guns. They're a little different system. One's got a hammer and the other one's a striker fired. The Taurus has a single action trigger, and if it does fail to fire you can get a second hit and do double action, but you'll probably never use it. And the KelTec has a half cocked, so I don't know if you'd call that single or double, but so there's the hammer. And if you notice, it's in the half cocked position. When you pull the trigger, the hammer comes the rest of the way back and goes bang. Notice the hammer's not there anymore. Pull the trigger, it does not shoot again, so it's not a true double action, but it's not necessarily single action, so we'll call it half cocked hammer, whatever you want to call it. Of these two guns, I actually prefer the KelTec. I shoot it a lot better. I was debating on taking these out to my range and doing some shooting, but all that would prove to you is I shoot the KelTec better. Of course, your results will vary. This is the Taurus 709. You look at them, they're both very close in size. Now, the thing that I really don't like about this gun is the really goofy trigger on it. It does have an external safety for people who think they need it, but when I show you how this trigger works, you're not going to need external safety. It's going to be hard for you to experience the trigger from watching a video, but I will tell you it's really goofy. So it's got the little paddle on there, just like the Glocks and the XDs. Now, what makes the trigger so goofy is, look at how far you can draw this trigger back, and it has not released the firing pin yet. This is why you do not need an external safety on this gun, because you haven't released the firing pin. And look how much travel that thing's got. Even if you caught that on something, putting it in the holster, it ain't gonna go off. This is such a light trigger here, but it hasn't shot yet. Now, when you pull the trigger to this back part, to get it to actually fire, listen, you'll hear it click. That little tiny bit is what actually made it fire. But watch. So, real soft, no bang, and then you really gotta jerk that trigger on the last bit to get it to fire. Now, in a defensive situation, you're not going to have time to stage it and think about it. You're just going to go bang and jerk that trigger anyway, because you're going to be shooting up close. Now, with the safety on, of course, you can't, no matter how hard you jerk it, it's not going to shoot. But that is just a goofy trigger. Now, some people say they like to have the second strike capability of it in case you had a bad primer or something. So you can bang, 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 bang. But typically, on this style of gun, on a semi-automatic gun, if you pull the trigger and it goes click, you're not going to be sitting there trying to shoot the bullet again. The first thing you're going to do is a tap, rack, bang, clear it, and shoot again, hopefully. Hopefully it didn't happen on your first shot and the bad guy didn't kill you first. Here again. Let's take a look. Of course, the KelTec's been shot here, so the hammer is not, you cannot shoot it again. But when you rack the slide, or when the bullet racks the slide, notice the hammer's there again in that half-cocked position, and you draw the trigger back, and bang. Now, a lot of people complain that these KelTecs have a goofy trigger on them, but I gotta say, out of all the whatever you want to call it, double-ish action guns, this thing has got such a smooth trigger on it. I don't know if I have the freak of nature from KelTec or what, but this thing is nice. Now, they both fit real nice in my hand. I do like, again, the KelTec better. Just seems to fit my hand a little better. But if you look at the KelTec, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, that slide's definitely not the prettiest thing out there. and there's some marks in the plastic that make it look a little ugly. It's got some rough edges on it, and it's definitely not meant to be a really pretty gun. Its intention is to be a carry gun that goes bang when you pull the trigger. Now, I've been carrying a few other guns around for a couple months, and any gun you carry is going to get scuffed up and beat up in your holster and bounced off the wall in the car, and everything you do, it's going to hit something. So I don't really want to have a pretty gun as a carry gun, because I sure don't want to go out and spend $1,500 on a real nice Kimber and then in a month have it all beat to hell because I've been running into things with it or scratching it on my holster. So to me, I don't really care what the gun looks like because it's going to get ugly anyway. So the Kel-tec, yeah, it's a little ugly. Shoots great. The Taurus, on the other hand, is finished very nicely. It's a very pretty gun, if you want to call it that. Just has a really goofy trigger on it. But if you train with it enough, you'll get over that goofy trigger. And it's all a matter of personal preferences. I'll bet there's people out there who take this gun and shoot it perfect. I shot it pretty decent, but I did shoot the Kel-tec better. Now the Kel-tec, I do my own reloading, and it did not like my 9mm reloads. The bullets that I was using, I'm not sure if it's... I probably, if I set them in a little deeper, they would work okay, but the shape of the bullet did not allow it to seat all the way. So if I bought some other bullets I'm going to try, and if you notice, these are more of a cone shaped bullet. I'm ad-libbing here, so I didn't pull out one of my other bullets to show you guys. That one right here. Anyway, so my 9mm that I load are from Precision Bullets, and if you look, I don't know if I can get this in on the camera very well. Notice how the bullet is not a total cone, it's got that little step. Because of that shape, KelTec doesn't want to chamber them. So I bought some of these to try. These are more like what you'd find like in a Winchester white box or something with a complete cone shape. So once I load up some of those, I'm sure the Kel-tec will eat them up just fine. But if you don't reload your own bullets, I guess you don't really care about that kind of stuff. One other difference here that I forgot to mention is the Kel-tec does have a rail on it. So you could put a light or a laser, or I guess a knife. I've seen those in some magazines. Whereas the Taurus does not. They both tuck really nice under a t-shirt. Put them on with a good comfortable holster, you can't even tell they're there. But overall, and of course your results may vary because it's all personal preference, I like the Kel-tec. That's the one I've been carrying about a month now. Good little gun. I shoot it well. To be fair, I haven't put a ton of rounds through the Taurus yet, and I kind of decided not to because I like the Kel-tec better. Probably be selling this Taurus pretty soon. Some people love them, some people hate them. It's kind of up to you. If you live in a state that will allow you to carry, do it legally. Carry as often and always. Any gun that you have on you is better than a gun at home in the safe, whether it be a 9mm or a 40 or a 45 or even a little 380. I used to carry my LCP all the time, but I decided I wasn't quite comfortable with that, so I decided to upgrade to a 9mm. So hopefully you guys got something out of this and enjoyed my 10 minutes almost of rambling on here. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.